Hello and welcome back to our Save a Seat series here on Patreon, where we dig deeper with some wonderful women. Today, I am once again joined by Rachel Bromberg, who wrote a piece about social anxiety, existing as a Gen Z, and what it's like to break into the fashion world and how we exist in those spaces. So, thank you so much for joining me again on our Save a Seat series.
Of course, again, I'm very excited to be here and talk about all of the fun things that you just mentioned with fashion, media, modeling, and more.
Yes, I like I said in the first episode, I love the way that this plays into the rest of our pieces. I think it really just wraps it all together in terms of like what it means to consider your own identity, especially when you exist in a space like this, and what it can mean to exist authentically and to influence the people that you work with to do the same. So I definitely want to get into that a little bit. So you mentioned in the first episode that you had done this fashion show, that it was based on this Billie Eilish song, Not My Responsibility, and that you had put it together to kind of talk about that you exist authentically and the way that other people think about you is not your responsibility. But how did the show come together? What was it like to kind of put this piece together? Did it tie into your master's program? Was it like part of your thesis?
So, my thesis show was about corsetry, and that was about
Mhm.
figures, and that was with the body positivity movement. And
Okay.
I was really proud of that. I pulled that off as a full time student with like three other side jobs as like an RA,
Oh
working to
Lord.
make money. Typical college stuff.
Right.
From that show, it was recognized by our local news, CBS in Philly, and then also by many people like in the Temple area in Philadelphia. And I did not realize how much of an impact I made on these women who participated in this show.
Oh.
And more than two girls had gotten signed to an agency from
Oh,
after the show because they felt so empowered by it and just pursued it. And quite a few girls, it was their first debut as a model. And it really changed the trajectory of how they viewed the modeling world. So I was like, that's amazing. That's great. That's what I wanted. Um,
yeah.
and I was super excited to, continue the brand authenticity projects. But I didn't expect it to be what it is today. When you start something and you're like, I don't know. And then it ends up being like, wow, I didn't expect that from this. So we started working on our second show, which was September 21st of this year.
Oh,
And
wow, that was not that long ago.
no, it was a month ago, which I'm like, holy cow. We've been working on it since I guess last August, so 2023. And I was convinced to do another one, but I would say I didn't realize the impact I made on so many people who wanted to participate for this to happen again. I did it all by myself as a master's student and had the honor, honestly, and support of such incredible people that I've graduated Temple with as a part of my team now for authenticity projects. And then the support of all the interns that participated last year or heard about the show from last year and really wanted to be a part of it. So I have to give like attribution to those people, those 10 people, my team who helped me fulfill this year because it is no small feat to put on a fashion show with a whole bunch of models who aren't necessarily professionals and they're newer to the industry because it comes down to a lot of communication. It comes
Yeah.
down to a lot of creative direction and making sure you're putting the message, explicit enough for people to understand, but also get the creative point across. So, there was a lot of work into it. I would say it's over 12 months of work.
Wow.
A lot of, shifting and communicating with college students who are, have millions of things on their plates as well. And like we were able to have, I think it was 5 photo shoots at the third spaces. So we had a photo shoot at a skate park local in Philly, which is a place where people gather and creatively express themselves. We had
Mhm.
one at an arcade, like a local arcade, a local park. We also had one at a barbershop, a local barbershop. And, even just speaking with the owner of the barbershop, he was feeling like so impacted by the message of authenticity projects because we just want to embrace, people to connect, not only in the creative level with fashion and modeling, but also just like as humans, like outside of the media. And it
Right.
was so amazing how all of this tied together because I actually met Ariana in a women's bathroom. And that like, is and that was one of the 3rd spaces we had a photo shoot at, because that's where girls connect and actually chat and talk about deep things that you, like,
Absolutely.
in person. So, it was absolutely incredible just even, the campaign itself being about Gen Z and, you know, social anxiety and expressing yourself on the media, but also expressing yourself in real life to people day to day, in these 3rd spaces, which a 3rd space is the space outside of work and home. So it's leisurely spots where people think, oh, maybe it's Instagram or TikTok where you express yourself. But this show was, and ask me anything because I could talk about so much with it. But the show is to have people just feel comfortable and like be expressive with themselves in person and online. And it
Yeah,
was absolutely incredible, just like meeting um Ariana in the girls' bathroom. So I was just
I
like, this
love
is like such a full circle moment. And it was
it.
absolutely incredible. That, this show kind of, came to light like that. And
Yeah,
yeah, over a year of work, my amazing team, over 60 people attended. We did have like a cap because of the, I guess, the venue, but
yeah,
a
that
lot of
stinks.
yeah, I know. So many people were interested, and I mean, we anticipate to have another show and more model workshops and photo shoots to come. So,
Yes,
yeah.
love. Well, you've mentioned it a couple of times, and you mentioned it in the last episode, but I know that people are gonna be curious, so please tell me more about Authenticity Projects, how it got started, and what you guys do.
Yeah. Well, it started pretty much from a 3 a.m. thought, is what I like to call it, because when I was writing my thesis as a master's student at Temple, sleep was very minimal. And so it was a 3 a.m. thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just an amazing name. I like thrive on just being my authentic self. And like being your authentic self doesn't just include, expressing yourself from what you feel personally, internally, but it's also like open mindedness and accepting of other people's authenticity. So it's
Mm,
not just you putting yourself out there and then being like, this is me. It's also saying, hey, be open minded to this too, because I am different. We are different. We all are unique. And just understand that. So it comes from that. And it just grew. I like have, I am, like I said, a big sister. So I want my little sister and my little brothers to be themselves and express themselves in whatever way possible.
yeah,
So it kind of came from just being a big sister mindset and wanting my little sister, whatever she pursues in her life, to feel confident in it. But also, I was a producer of a talk show at Temple, and the girls that worked with me, I, was a big influence on them as like a big sister moment, and like just realized how much like me expressing to be authentic impacted these girls in college. So